that matters.
I'm already sweating. All right, so congratulations. Give them some love. And do not forget, TV Guide Magazine, Winchesters cover, on stands now, and at supernaturalmag.com. The expanded Supernatural special issue with Winchester's content in there. You guys are set. We're taking good care of you. So I'm going to get to some questions and then I'm going to get this to the audience. Okay, so you guys came up with this during COVID. Most of us were doing like sourdough or puzzles.
We don't know how to bake, so...
So when did you first start talking? Because you hadn't even wrapped Supernatural yet.
Correct, yeah. We had taken a bit of a COVID break. We had 2 episodes left to finish season 15, and that's when the world shut down. So there we are, barricaded behind our door and windows like most of us did, and we just started talking about, what the expansion of Supernatural and its universe would ever look like. We know there's been some attempts before, and we started talking. I was like, you know what? I think I'd really like to see, like, the throwback to how Mom and Dad got together. And then she was like, oh yeah, now you're talking my era, 76, like let's go. And then we just started spitballing, and that's really how the train got moving. And then we
said there had to be a Winchester.
Yeah, I was like, look, if we're going to expand this world, it's going to help if there's a Winchester involved. And the Winchesters was literally just the working title for the longest time, and then we were like, well, why change it now? Right? We're already down this road. I will say that every time I get an email, it says it's TW, the Winchesters. Yes. And it's funny because I have a friend of mine who has the same initials that I have in my phone as TW, and so I keep thinking that I'm getting an email from TW, my buddy, and which was funny because we eventually were going to need to cast the role of Samuel Campbell, and so I kept having this TW in my head, and I was like, well, I have an idea. What if we just make it TW?
I'm on board with this.
So I got a surprise for you guys. Introducing the guy playing her father, my grandfather, Samuel Campbell, Mr. Tom Welling. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are ya? This is all Jensen's fault. I lost the bet,
That's it.
which is why I'm here.
Don't lose that to me. I'll bring you up on stage and embarrass the shit out of you. We're really, really excited to have Tom. We knew we were going to need somebody to come in and somebody with the power and the strength and the history, and obviously some of you may know that Tom and I go way back to a little show called Smallville.
Coach,
Coach.
you can call me Grandpa now.
That's right. Yep, I get to call you Poppy now. So Tom's got to run. He's got a lot of responsibilities today, but I wanted him to introduce you to the Supernatural family, my friend.
Can you let these guys know who I am? This is probably too young.
Yeah, so Tom was in a show called Smallville, where he played Clark Kent, aka Superman.
I'll see you guys in a couple days. Thanks for having me.
All right, Tom. See you, bud. See you, Tito.
See you, Tito.
Your father is Superman, by the way. Sorry, a little surprise for you guys there.
That, how do we top that?
And thanks. Good night.
So, what they just saw today, this episode, how close is it to the idea that you kind of started with?
Well, we always, I think one of the things, and Robbie can touch on this too, I always wanted to narrate it, because I thought that would just be a nice tether to the mothership, as we lovingly call Supernatural. And I just thought it was, if we could do a supernatural version of essentially How I Met Your Mother,
Loves that show.
okay, all right. Look, it was on for a long time for a reason. Leave me alone.
Says the guy from a 15-year show.
This is true. But listen, it did go through some different variations of a theme.
I would say though it's pretty much, I mean, there's some new characters and so on and so forth, but they came to me with this idea that felt very, exciting, and it's all the bones right there. It really is, how can we tell this story from a slightly different perspective? And I signed up just for the chance to finally meet Jensen, and I just met him backstage. He's so nice. He smells like baby Jesus. It's incredible.
Someone needs to go home with Robbie.
Thanks, guys. Good night. I had a good night on the show.
So Robbie, as kind of the overseer of all this, there are some concerns about maybe revisionist history or some things like, 15 years of mythology. What are you doing to us here? Like, we've committed certain things to memory.
I mean, honestly, when they asked about this, I asked the same question and was terrified. It was exciting, and then I was like, I can't wait to be at New York Comic Con and to answer this question, to just let you guys know, like, one of the first conversations that we had, because I know everybody here is obviously a Supernatural fan, but so are these two kids up here, and these two new kids too. And we were very clear, it was like a Hippocratic oath to no harm. We will not be rewriting, doing any revisionism, nothing is being rebooted. We are not going to have, as Jensen likes to say, the Sam and Dean Polaroid from Back to the Future fading. Now,
No fading pictures.
Yeah, no fading pictures.
That's what we're like, wait a second, does this fade the picture at all? That's what we ask each other.
Yeah. But it was actually very freeing because it gave us the opportunity to, because we're a prequel, obviously people know where the story is going, but because we're also supernatural that could do different things, we had an opportunity to do something different. Now, what exactly we're doing will be revealed in episode 13 of The Winchesters, not today, sorry. But I can assure you that I know that if people do have any concerns, I had the same concerns, and those two had them before I even showed up. The goal of this was always to not rewrite or change anything that happened in 15 seasons, and by the time we get to 13, you'll see how we did that.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about our mom and dad. Drake and May. So now that you've been on a panel, do you understand the immensity of these roles now?
Yes.
Do you have any second thoughts now?
No.
No, this is amazing. This is incredible. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
Support is insane. So thank you.
Hearing your guys' reaction to the pilot was like so surreal. I was bawling backstage, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So clearly, and we've spoken a little bit, these characters mean as much to you two as they do to the... Are you okay?
Surreal.
We're having an Oprah moment up here. So obviously these characters mean as much to you as they do to the fans. What is your take on them? How do you see them, and how do you see them falling in love?
As Robbie was saying, we're not trying to revise anything. So, I grew up, I watched Supernatural all the way through in season 12. So I have zero intention to try to live up to Jeffrey Dean Morgan's portrayal of John. And more than anything, when I got the role, I just wanted to provide context. John's controversial so I just wanted to offer context to the character, to his life, to the aspirations and dreams he had, and fall in love with Mary. It's also a little benefit, but no, yeah, that's kind of where I came from. What do I say?
How does Mary fall? Because she clearly sees this guy as he has some learning to do.
Yeah. I think, playing Mary is so much fun because she is a very strong, independent woman who knows exactly what she wants, and very badass for sure. So I think with John, it kind of makes her open up. She's a little bit more vulnerable, and throughout the show you kind of see more vulnerability in Mary, which I think is really beautiful. And so I'm just playing Mary, I just want to show you can be really tough, you can be this badass, awesome woman, but also it's okay to have sensitive and vulnerable moments as well. So that's been really fun.
And I love that she is introduced as the alpha.
Yeah.
She's the alpha, and in a time where that would not have been a thing.
No.
Which I absolutely love the the point of view of Mary is the one that really sends us into this world, and she already has a life set up. We don't know that much about John's life at this point, other than he's going through some stuff, but we don't know family, we don't know. Who is the voice of his dad?
That would be Mr. Gil McKinney.
Gil McKinney.
Very nice. Now let's talk about the Scoobies, because we get right into that as well, and I'm all aboard for this. And they're all Mary's friends. Lata is, so I loved her from the get-go, but I'm also a little concerned about her.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she could be corrupted.
Yes, so that. Mary is definitely scared about that for sure too.
Oh, really? Oh, so it wasn't just me. I'm watching oh, she wants to be really a big part of this, and that could mean doing the wrong thing, right?
She's definitely
Very perceptive.
Yes. Yes. And we have an amazing partner in Nida, who's just an outstanding actress and has really brought the character to life and really added stuff that I never thought about and we never talked about before we, even cast. She just is an incredible presence. And so yes, I would be very worried for that sweet summer child.
All right, excellent. And now Ada, I trust that she's not just going to be your magical black character, right? This is somebody who's going to be very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, we got extremely lucky with all of our cast, but Demetria has been an amazing partner in this as well, and that's somebody who you should also worry about. You should worry about all of these characters because it's supernatural. Well, I'll kill them all. So.
We know what he's capable of,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. And Carlos, I'm pretty sure Carlos is TV's first sexually fluid hippie demon hunter.
100% correct.
Yeah. This is incredible. And I love that the energy amongst them are. How is John? I mean, they're all super nice to him to start, but he's a bit of a square.
He is a bit of a square, and Carlos is a lot. He takes up all the space, all of it. But again, that's a case where we have an incredible partner in JoJo, who they are just an incredible presence. That was extremely hard to cast, and I remember it was Daniil actually, because you get tapes and there's names, and you're like, who are these people? And we had a text chain, and you were like, you have to see JoJo, you have to see JoJo, you have to see JoJo, and then I saw JoJo, and I was like, she's correct. She's correct.
Nice.
They are a huge, huge star.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of memes coming out of that.
Oh, yes.
Now, for you guys, because putting this together, it really does rest on their shoulders. It comes from the top of the family down. How has it been watching them not just assume these roles, but also assume the roles on behind the scenes?
I mean, these two are amazing. Again, you can't ask for better partners. Really, honestly, and everybody up here, and also our partners at the Studio Network, this is one of those things where you're like, I can't believe we get to. Jensen says it all the time, we don't have to do this, we get to do it, and to be able to do it with all these people has been amazing.
So much, and it's also the behind-the-scenes world of Supernatural. There was so much love, there was so much family, there was so much connection. Are you feeling that in this production as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah. Right? It's the whole family's together.
So I'll give you another little surprise, which I don't think it's whatever.
You're an exec producer,
We're
pal.
so Warner Brothers.
Here we go. Just touching on that kind of vibe down in New Orleans on set right now. A dear friend of ours and a family member of Supernatural is directing, Mr. Richard Spade. And I'm getting some insider, just so you know, I'm getting some insider trader information on what's going on set because I'm not there right now. I'm doing some other show, but I do have my ears open, and Spade's been giving me some updates, and the reviews are just glowing. In fact, he even specifically says some stuff that you were doing, Drake, on Friday night was just blowing him out of the water. And so I will say that yes, the Supernatural vibe is still being collectively curated by those that were there and know what it was originally, and that's important to all of us.
So it's in the hands of those that love it the most.
Correct.
Yeah. Drake and Meg, have you endured any of the, well, back in my days, in season 2, we had to use practical effects. Like, have you heard the stories from the elder statesmen?
Yes. 100%.
And you're like, that's great, Pop Pop, eat your soup.
It's all the Jensen.
So you gave us some Easter eggs. Not even Easter eggs. Men of Letters are like the Goonies. They never die. Like, these people have been around forever. But our green cooler showed up. Backseat. Yeah. But this Akrita, is this the big bad for the season?
This is our big bad, and again, one of the things that Danielle and Jensen, when we first talked about it was, we have 327 episodes of continuity, and it felt like an opportunity maybe for us to kind of do something that we hadn't seen before, while still embracing all 327 episodes warmly. We have a supernatural technical consultant who is obviously starts with these two, and then Drake has watched and has like the actual time code, I think, of some of the episodes.
Episode 1.
And then the Supernatural Wiki, if you guys have ever used it, Jules also has been helping us out as well, which has been really super cool. But to answer your question though, like there's just people here. It's handcrafted. These are people who love it.
And what other Easter eggs should we be looking for?
There's a bunch in the pilot that some of them are just fun. Like there's a few directors' names that you'll recognize in the background and things like that. That's right, Kim Manners, Mr. David Nutter. I'm like the Easter Bunny, like I like to put them all in, but now we have this incredible crew down in New Orleans who are either have watched it or started to watch it, like, oh, could you do this, could you do that? And so we're like finding other little things that we can kind of have little winks at the audience.
And Robbie does such a great way of putting those Easter eggs in, but not making them so blatant. Like when Mary says that they put a knife in her hand before she was old enough to hold it, is very familiar to, you know what, Dad, he gave me a 40, instead of thinking he gave me a 45. So there's a lot of little like kind of subtle Easter eggs too that I think are important, but also help really tell this story, move it along just the way that it did many years ago.
And should we take their love of coffee as a thing to work with? Is this going to become a thing, like the coffee cup, or the black coffee and the too sweet coffee?
Coffee's the new pie.
Exactly. Yes.
Just don't eat, just whatever you do, don't think it's gonna be fun and just take a bite of a hamburger, because then that's the next 15 years of your life.
So obviously people online and inline and out in the world, they're all very curious because the original The Mothership was staffed with celestial characters who are timeless. They can go back and forth, and I think the one that they all want to know about starts with a C.
Is Chuck. Chuck. Oh, that's good. Oh, you mean Castiel, right?
I will always need Castiel. So,
I'm with you.
yeah, so when did the emails start going out?
I mean, I think I was campaigned for that before I even heard about this job. So, I've got a lot of sternly worded emails and tweets and texts. But, again, Danielle and Jensen at the beginning were like, hey, like, let's establish a foundation, for these kids, and then let's slowly bring some people in. We will be bringing a lot of familiar faces. I think we can tell, I'm low-key excited about the next one, but whether or not we see Mr. Misha Collins, I would love it. I would love to see everybody back in some way, shape, or form, and I think we'll have an opportunity to do that, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Okay, all right, so we're going to go to audience questions because I want to hear from these guys. 'Cause there's nothing better than watching Supernatural fans love on the Supernatural people.
Yay!
That's a quick cue right there. That was insta line.
All right, we're going to start over here first.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. This is exactly what I'm. Hi. My name is Allison. I'm from St. Louis, and I was wondering if if like the plan for the beginning of the season was always Dad's on a hunting trip. He hasn't been home in a few days, or if there was ever like a different way you were going to start that.
I will take all the heat for that. I'm guilty as charged. You know, again, Daniel and Jensen and I talked about it early on about how can we find little parallels between 1972 and 2000 whatever, as we did time jumps in Supernatural. I don't remember what year it is.
Oh, 05.
Whichever it is. And that was something that was kind of baked in from the beginning. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Brianna, and I'm from New York City, obviously the greatest city on the planet. First, I'd like to say, the whole John, Mary, Lotta, and Carlos, they get very much Scooby and the gang for me. They even have the band too, which is perfect. But my question is, if you had to build a Mount Rushmore of Supernatural episodes, which ones would you pick and why?
I mean, I'm just going to take this. Mystery Spot for me is the all-time. And then Mystery Spot, and then Mystery Spot. I just think for me it embodied, what Supernatural did best, which was it had a ton of humor. I mean, do these tacos taste funny to you? I'd probably say like 50 times a year to the chagrin of
It's my favorite way that Dean died.
But then it's really sad in the end, and what Sam goes through, and I don't know. I'll put one of the faces on.
I'll throw French Mistake up there.